Get directed by that. Alright, so, welcome back to Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider Anime Review, episode number 19. We have you in 19 episode series. There you are. It is called It'll Be Honored to Die as a Writer. Yes, quite interesting episode. Now, I did watch these episodes last night. Of course, I did not get a chance to view these episodes yesterday. Purely because, basically, that stuff was just too chaotic yesterday. So, I have my laptop with me, but I just didn't take it out, per se. Because, basically, it wasn't like I was in a private hotel room, per se. I was in a hotel room, but of course, I was there with my family, so I couldn't really do anything. So, sadly, no. Unlike the last time I went out of town, I just wasn't able to do anything at all. But I did watch this episode. Yes, I did. So, in this episode, you have Tojima and it is Tojima and Nako, where they basically arrive at Ichiro's place for training, and as soon as they open the door, Ichiro proceeds to punch Tojima right in the face. And they start fighting, and of course, it goes like, I thought you two were friends. And of course, basically, he's mad because, well, for two reasons. One, because he ran away from Batman, and the other, because basically, Yuriko got hurt. After a bit of a while, even after after accidentally punching Nako with this hilarious recreation, something I saw in Jag. Yes, I saw the same thing in Jag, where you have two guys. You had the male lead and Australian commander fighting over a woman, and they accidentally punch basically someone they know in the face, breaking his jaw. So the commander's like, "Okay, you two want to fight? Fine. Fight in this room until you two are done." Because payback for injuring him. Of course, they weren't charged, but this is basically of course that was done basically as payback. But this basically like, oh yeah, you're the commander for that restaurant. It's like, yeah, but I've kind of turned against Shocker, and it's kind of weird with this character where he ends up joining Shaka one episode, and then they just do nothing. And it's, by the way, it's not the studio's fault for this at all. This actually is the creator's fault. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how they do this. So, meanwhile, while they're doing this, by the way, also Tojima brings some food. So, Yuriko is seen briefly lifting weights with a broken leg. Mistapa and Yoshiro are just looking at the Combat Girls website, and they think, oh, we should probably stop Batman by going undercover. Well, he can go no problem because he's a guy. Because apparently it's an all guys event. So, I'll come with some interesting idea. Meanwhile, though, the guys, they eat their food, and of course, Noka can't eat because his jaw can't work hard because they punched him. So they decide to have a fight. Whoever wins gets the 3 mini meals. All himself. I feel like that's kind of dumb. Of course, basically, they don't really fight each other per se. Also, we get references in this episode to the fact that Nako basically also watched Kamen Rider as well. We get references to the original Kamen Rider series, episode 2, which I don't remember if this actually was true or not, but they did mention episode 2 of the show, where the original Kamen Rider had his eyes lit for the first time, and apparently that kept putting him in the hospital. Now, by the way, Tojima is 40 years old, and this is set in 2025. So, I'm assuming he was born in 1985. And he probably watched all these episodes on videotape because the show aired back in the 70s. Yes. And by the way, they also bring up episode 2 of V3. Yes. I'm like, that was interesting. I did not expect to see two shows in a row bring up the second episode of the show. With the whole thing with the writer sequences to save to take down Turtle Bazooka. And they mentioned I also mentioned Toshi Tabana, the mentor. First time he's referenced this show. And I think it's actually one of the 2 V3 episodes that they mentioned this one. I don't remember what the other one was. But I know the 2 was mentioned because basically they show what they did, like they did with episode 8 of the original Kamen series, they basically recreated the ending. They animated it for this episode. Good on basically the creators doing that. And also we see him also training Wit in the forest by having, well, Tojima and Ichio basically shirtless while Neko basically in his undershirt and boxers, where they proceed to punch a tree. And the other two do it no problem, and for like hands are hurting because he's not properly built for this. And then you try to do pull-ups. After like 100, he's like done. So then of course we have the other two play with each other kicking, and they eat some food, and that's the episode. That's all that happens. Otherwise, a pretty good episode. It feels like this one's like still in the aftermath of the fight with Batman, and the fact that, well, he was late, obviously. Though I'm still questioning why can't friend of mine simply, oh, you're the Batman. Oh, like, oh, you're a monster. Like, yeah, that's my only issue with that. That now they're referred as that. I don't like it referred to previously. Despite the fact, as a viewer, I know who that monster is. That's the Batman. That's Kamen Rider's Batman. Yeah, but otherwise, though, really good episode. Okay, so that's pretty much the particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next up is Reincarnated Dragon Hatchling. Okay, next video. Bye.